one. Yeah, Ron and Kay.
What's up, y'all? We are back. Part 4, the LaDasha Diamond My Life Story. And this time, we have a special guest. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Diamond, and I'm 32, and I'm from the Bay Area.
Thank you, Diamond. We really appreciate you being here and sharing your story and experience today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for being it's like when you go through this, it feels like you're in a different dimension. So I'm by myself on this planet, and I just come upon you, and you're here to, help me heal too. So thank you.
I appreciate it. You also being here helps validate my story and my experience and letting me know that I'm not alone and that someone else has experienced this, and me sharing my story can help you and help others. That's coming together. My intention is that we come together to help others heal and become aware of what this is.
So before we get started, how did you guys meet?
We met through a mutual friend, and it was really a blessing because I did part 3, right? And I hadn't met Diamond yet, but I was really nervous about putting it out. It's like I'm really putting myself out there. And when I met Diamond, and my name's Diamond, right? It was like, first of all, her name's Diamond. I'm like, wow, we both are diamonds. And then 2, we both experienced a similar situation. So I'm really grateful that our mutual friend introduced us and that I don't have to go through this experience and sharing this experience alone. Now I have someone here who has also experienced this NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, abuse cycle, and we can kind of support one another throughout our healing journey. So it feels really good.
So during this experience, was there any moments where your friends and family turned on you? Did this person meet your friends and family? Did they try to use certain things that you guys experienced in intimate moments against you with your friends and family?
Well, it was like how Diamond touched on the flying monkey. So my flying monkey wasn't used as fear that he tried to pump, her person tried to pump fear her. Mine was used to basically create a facade for my friends and family so he can appear as if he is this wonderful person and he's this strong man, and and so if something were to happen, it would be me that's out of pocket or doing something, so you definitely put up that charming, take out the trash. I'm gonna bring your mom flowers. Don't even know my mom like that, or like, hi mom. It's those boundaries that when you're looking for that love, you just fall for it. Like, oh, he's going above and beyond, but really it's a manipulative tactic.
To get you used to it, and then to flip the script.
Yes.
So, Diamond, my question, or Diamond, the other Diamond, my question for you,
LaDasha Diamond.
yeah, LaDasha Diamond, in your experience in the time that you guys were together, what was the most mind-boggling thing for you? You just like, what is going on? I got to get up out of here, even if you didn't leave right then and there.
Right. There was a lot of times where I noticed things or red flags that made me go, I'm probably not going to stay. But I think one of the most mind-boggling parts of the narcissistic abuse cycle that I experienced is the fact that they want to see you hurt or down or crumble, and they want to laugh at you. So it's like this humiliation ritual. It's like it's a big thing for them to humiliate you and for them to get a kick out of that. And for me, that's really mind-boggling. Like, what is going on with a person to the point they want to see somebody hurting and laugh at them, like intentionally? Like, we've all done it. Someone falls off a bike or something, you laugh a little, like, but you also are like, are you okay? Like, my bad. It's not funny that you fell, but it's like funny how you fell or whatever. But this person are setting you up to fail so they can laugh. That was like the most mind-boggling, knowing that their intention is so vindictive. I just couldn't believe it. Like, how does a person become so evil?
All right, Diamond, thank you so much for coming in and telling your story. So the first question I have for you is, Can you explain to us what narcissism is to you, or what does it mean to you?
Um, the funny thing is, I didn't know what narcissism was until I actually went through it. I feel like all my life I've always had a like anxious attachment style to where I'm easily and connected to like men that come into my life for that love and support because of the abandonment I had from my father and my older brother leaving. So that I feel like narcissism is for me is my testimony as well as a spiritual journey, spiritual awakening I had to go through. So it's very important to me. And I was able to just recognize some things I didn't recognize before.
So describe the narc abuse cycle in your own words and based on what you've experienced yourself.
I feel like I'm really like a horror person. I'm like a real horror addict. I love horror movies and stuff. So I feel like it's like a movie script. It's the hunt. You know, they're looking for women that are vulnerable. Um, it's a capture. They're observing you. They're listening to you. They may come as a form as a friend. They may come as a form as a just someone to lean on. But they're actually um, observing you to mirror who you would want in a partnership. And then there's the love bombing. The love bombing is it's everything that you want it to be. It's a mirror of who you think the perfect person is, a facade. Um, and that's what will hook you. And then there's you're in a relationship, the love bombing worked, and then it's stagnant to where they lose interest or they want to gain even more control and they start pumping fear into you. And you're now their new supply.
So, what were some red flags that you noticed, if any, during your relationship?
So with my particular story, um, I was extremely vulnerable and I couldn't really say much because I was in a infidelity type dynamic to where I I was married and I wasn't happy in the marriage and I feel like I fell for temptation. So I didn't really get to say much at first because I was in the wrong as well. So when I started seeing the red flags, I justified them because of my dynamic I was in. So I started to see the excessive behaviors as far as constantly wanting to talk on the phone or the always, what are you doing, where are you at, come see me, like the extreme trying to go above and beyond to uh, just be in my presence, be around.
So, once you realized that the love bombing was taking place, what did you feel inside? Like, what was that experience like for you?
To be honest, I didn't realize I was being love bombed until the end,
Wow.
until um, the abuse, until after I escaped from my situation, I realized that, okay, what love bombing is. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, as well as who this person was.
Yeah.
This person was a popular person and, you know, appeared to be a strong, uh, level-headed business person, but in reality, it was just a facade.
So, can you give us some examples of what love bombing is, what it looks like? So people who may be in that situation can look out for things like that?
Yeah, so I feel like it varies on person to person. I With my particular narcissist was a professional, so I feel like um they take what you vent to them about and use it as a mechanism to will you in, basically. So the I used to always like vent about like how my husband wasn't doing some chores, or I was always the breadwinner and blah blah blah. And they'll be like, "You're so beautiful, I'll take care of you. You don't need to be out here doing this and doing that. You just need to be at home being a woman. A woman's supposed to do this, a man's supposed to do that. Um, the I think you're my soulmate, and you only met them like 2 weeks. So, but you don't recognize it because you're so in this deep facade to where you're unhappy within yourself,
Right.
to where
So
you
it's
seek validation through the
more so like
narcissist person.
you're reading these text messages. You're like, oh my god, this guy likes me so much.
Oh, he's so into me, but in reality, you're seeking validation through that person that
Right.
you need to find within yourself.
Okay. So what is your understanding of? Hold on. How about that? So can you tell me what? So can you tell me your understanding of gaslight and what that looks like to you?
That's another, like, I feel like all the verbiage and the I learned after. So it's manipulation. It's using twisting the story so it can sounds be different than the reality that it is. For example, my person, that my abuser was a popular person, business person, and the business surrounded by a bunch of, female audience, basically large female audience. So in my eyes, it's, a little weird trying to be with someone in that type of, business.
Right.
But, they're what a narcissist would do would try to make you feel comfortable about it, manipulate the situation. Oh, it's just business. It's all business. I'm a business man. I'm not worried about this and who they are doing. It's strictly about business, but in reality, it's not. They're just trying to manipulate your mind to believe something so everything can go close.
So how did you realize you were being gaslit? Was it middle of the relationship? Was it after it was over? Um, share your experience.
So I believe I started experiencing gaslighting as more occurrences kept coming up. There was one where we had, I was helping out, and there was another female there, and it appeared to be as if they just had a friendship. But then one day, us women, we get a little curious. Phone was unlocked, so I was like, oh, going through the phone, I'm like, oh, it's bigger than what it is. I actually, reached out to the woman, and she's like, well, I'm this and this and that. I thought you knew. I'm like, no, I didn't, because he didn't tell me. So we put two, I'm all about women empowerment. We put two and two together, and, I realized that, okay, he's lying about that. She disappears. And then as I'm, still around, still helping out, um, I'm getting off of work late, and I'm coming to help out at night, and I'm noticing, when I walk in, the environment changes. Everyone's looking at me like, who is that? And uh, I guess it was one incident, basically. Um, there was a group of females. They had gotten into an altercation with the person, and they pulled me to the side, and they were just like, hey, before you came here, he was doing this, 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 and that. He's not who you say he is. You're a very sweet girl, and blah, blah, blah. You need to not be with him, and, but the gaslighting started in the beginning. He set the tone as if, oh, this is business. People are going to make up lies. People are going to, because they want to be next to me. They want to be this and that. And that's about a narcissist. They feel like they're like desirable. They're better than everyone else.
So once you started to hear these things from other women, or started to notice certain things, how did it feel to you? How did you respond?
You definitely question it, and with that person being a narcissist, they already know what to say. I already told you before. People just want to be next to me. Blah blah blah. I'm this. I'm him. In reality, they were trying to look out for me. Um, so you want to play that part like, well, I'm going to believe my man over someone else's word. But you have to have a level of like discernment to really know that they be like.
So, what does the word supply mean to you, and how can you describe it in terms of narcissistic personality disorder?
Supply. Well, I feel like when you think of supply, you think of energy. Um, a narcissistic person, they lack empathy. So they feed off of people that are very empathetic, very nice, and very good people that they can never be inside because of the anger that they haven't healed from. So, supply to me is just an energy drainer. Like, oh, I'm going to have this supply to fill me up with energy, to give me enough energy to uh, find another supply. Because they'll drain you and then find a new supply. So it's like a bucket. You're a bucket and you're pouring into their cup, and once that bucket's empty, you're drained and they're ready to pour into another bucket.
So, how did you eventually break the cycle? Was there a moment? Was there an experience where you just said, "This is it. I'm out of here"?
Oh yeah, definitely. It was on the vacation. It was like heavy drinking involved. Um, Hennessy bottles make me cringe now just thinking about it. Um, that's where I was physically abused. That's where I draw the line. And it was where I had to literally escape, get an Uber back to the airport and just sit at that airport until my plane came and just, focus and tell myself I'm done. And I went completely no contact as well as it was hard because as I'm walking on the phone, here comes the emails. And that's not normal. That's not normal behavior. I'm talking about emails back to back. I'm on my way, blah, blah, blah. Line up whoever needs to line up. Uh, this and this and that. But like trying to pump fear into me. But this is where I'm getting I'm tapping into my intelligence. Like, okay, this person is just not mentally stable. Um, yeah, the emails were excessive emails. I'm talking about every hour, for 3 weeks straight. Uh, and it would go hot and cold, hot and cold. So, oh, that's what really just made me realize that I'm dealing with a mentally unstable person.
So, did you develop any PTSD? If you did, how are you managing those symptoms and the effects of being love bombed and gaslit?
Oh yeah. I feel like with me going through that and with me being single now, it makes me put up a huge, wall to where I'm like, if a person just says, oh, I'm beautiful, or, gives me a compliment that I know is true, um, I'm like weirded out about it. Like, oh, this person love bombing me. You don't mean it. But then I'm also at a point where it's like, I don't need anyone's validation. I know I'm beautiful. I know I'm this and that. I don't need to I it doesn't matter what people say. So it was at a point in my life where I did seek validation, yearning the absence of my father, the absence of my brother, that like when a man showed that love, I'm like, okay, don't leave. I believe him because he's here. He doesn't want.
Yeah.
So, but now I'm at a point where I'm happy. I can't be alone. I don't need validation with any man. A man doesn't validate me.
Beautiful. So, how are your current relationships? Has dating affected the narcissistic personality disorder, the gaslighting, the love bombing? Have you found it difficult to date or even want to date?
It's difficult to date because, and it's affected me to where like anything that reminds me of him, I'm like, oh, block. Oh, have a nice day. I don't want anything to. It's a trigger. Even though it was like over 2 years ago, about, I'm still like, nope, that reminds me. Like, for example, I had someone, they're just messaging me or whatever. He had sent me a picture, and my narcissist was like obsessed with taking pictures. He always asked, like, oh, take a picture of me, take a picture of me. And that was a trigger for me. Him just sending a picture without, my consent. I didn't ask for that. So I'm like, oh, he's full of himself. He thinks he's higher. So I'm like, when in reality, he was just probably just trying to say, like, oh, look at my fit today, you know? But yeah, that's the PTSD I have for sure. And Henny bottles.
So, what are you doing to heal from this experience? And are there any tips or advice that you would like to give someone currently dealing with this or on a healing journey as you are?
What helped me heal was definitely educating myself. I started Googling a lot, looking up I went to therapy. Uh, it was even at a point where I felt as if like I looked at him as like, well, he needs help too. So I even recommended us going to like a couples therapy, but I can't help no one that doesn't want to help themselves. And I went to Barnes and Noble. I like to read, so I was reading a lot. Um, just like toxic relationship recovery, self love. Started just loving myself more and just being able to identify a narcissistic person. Uh,
Okay. How can someone rebuild their self esteem and sense of identity after enduring manipulation, gaslighting, and love bombing, and just all the things that come along with NPD?
how can you rebuild yourself? You just have to really stand in that mirror and look at yourself and cry. That's what I did. I went in the bathroom, I stood in the mirror, and I just cried, because this is not just your normal, oh, I'm single, I met this person. I, I was unhappy in my marriage, but I left something that I built for a facade that was created. So it was a big loss, but also I don't take it as a loss, I take it as a lesson. So just look in the mirror, uh, learn to love yourself. Read, educate yourself on it. That doubt that you have, or that fear of abandonment, just know that you can be by yourself. You don't need validation from anyone. Love comes. Love is always going to come. There's a million men on earth, so
So, you talked about therapy. How was therapy a great tool in your healing journey? Was it just because you were able to talk to someone without being judged? Or just having, I guess you would say, the educational style of a therapist versus talking to a friend? How did therapy help you in your journey?
so therapy helped me because talking to my friends, they didn't get it. They never experienced, like, you don't experience a narcissist relationship till you're in one. Like, it's something, it's like you enter a dimension no one else is in. So talking to my friends, they weren't understanding me. Versus talk to a therapist, they're aware of this disorder. So I was able to see it from, like, very psychological standpoint, as well as just being able to figure out the ways to just heal from it, like the, the right way, rather than just crying, going out, partying, drinking, trying to find another situation to heal from this situation, because you don't want that. It makes you like you're just like in a dark place until And what actually helped me was reaching out, because you think you're in this reality that's just like, what is this real? And then you reach out to, maybe an ex or two, and they'll confirm, like, yeah, this person is like this. So just reaching out and just facing reality of it is this. You made the decision, you learn from it, they can move on.
All right, so we talked about how do you know you're in a narcissistic relationship, the love bombing, the gaslighting. But on a more positive note, how do you know that the steps that you're taking towards healing are actually working? Or, you know, you notice a change in yourself.
Setting boundaries. I don't think I set a lot of boundaries in the past. If a person wanted to see me, I would go see that person. If a person wanted to, oh, come spend the night, or come, let's do this, I want to meet your family, like too fast, I would be down because I'm like, oh, this person, really likes me. No, I'm slowing it down. Like, I'm really, taking the time out to uh, get to know a person before I make that decision and being in a relationship with them. So setting the boundaries, also being able to speak up. I would be, you know, quiet about certain things, or so I'm very empathetic, but at the same time, I have to protect myself.
Okay, final question. Forgiveness is a big thing that we talk about during this series, right? And obviously, forgiveness looks different for everyone. And obviously, forgiveness doesn't mean that you have to deal with said person. Um, have you began a journey of forgiveness, or if you haven't, do you feel that one day you open to a journey of forgiveness? And not necessarily saying you have to tell this person to their face or whatever that you forgive them, but just more so waking up one day and realizing, like, you know what, I forgive this person, I'm moving on with my life, I forgive myself, I'm moving on with my life.
I'm definitely on that path. That's where I'm at in life. I do forgive this person because I feel like this disorder is developed from their hurt, their childhood. So, hurt people hurt people. So I would want, I forgive him. I forgive him. And I want him to realize what he does and heal and just stop, and just take accountability and recognize the behavior so we can have a different, different turnout in the relationships, because I'm not the only supply that he had. There's many of supplies. So I definitely want that person to heal from what caused them to turn into this monster.
Right. So, in closing, are there any words of wisdom, words of encouragement, words of warning that you wanted to give to either young ladies, young men out there who have experienced NPD or are currently in a situation like that?
You are enough. You are enough. I feel like I fell for my narcissist because I didn't have the confidence that I was enough. Uh, he validated me. And I say that a lot because that's what I feel like is a big key. We seek validation through others when in reality you are enough. So always know that you are enough. You don't need a man, but if you want to be in a relationship, um, make sure you just take it slow. Be observant, educate yourself, set your boundaries early, and love yourself. You are beautiful.
They call me Diamond cause I'm solid, solid to the core. I rock and I roll cause my game is so cold. And I've been riding on my foes since the day I was born. I'm unbreakable, I'm unbreakable. They call me Diamond cause I'm solid, solid to the core. I rock and I roll cause my game is so cold. And I've been riding on my foes since the day I was born.